নমস্কাৰ বন্ধু বান্ধৱীসকল, আশা কৰোঁ সকলো ভালে আছে। মোৰ আন এটি ভিডিঅ'লৈ আপোনালোকক পুনৰবাৰ স্বাগতম জনাইছোঁ। বন্ধু বান্ধৱীসকল, আজি এই ভিডিঅ'টোৰ জৰিয়তে মই নেলছন মেণ্ডেলা অৰ্থাৎ লং ৱাক টু ফ্ৰীডম ক্লাছ 10ৰ টেক্সট বুকৰ ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট যিবোৰ কুৱেশ্যন আছে সেই কুৱেশ্যনবোৰ এই ভিডিঅ'টোৰ জৰিয়তে দি যাম। গতিকে আমি বেছিক যিবোৰ প্ৰশ্ন থাকে সেই প্ৰশ্নবোৰ মই কালেক্ট কৰি ধুনীয়াকৈ তাৰ এনচাৰবোৰ দি দিছোঁ আগতে। সেই উত্তৰবোৰ লিখি লৈ তাক প্ৰেক্টিছ কৰিবলৈ চেষ্টা কৰা। চ' প্ৰথম যিটো কুৱেশ্যন ইয়াত লৈছোঁ সেইটো হৈছে হোৱাট ইজ এপাৰ্থেড? What is apartheid? Apartheid is a political system that separates people according to their race and color. When was the first democratic election held in South Africa? The first democratic election was held in South Africa in 1994. Third question to hoise, where did the ceremony take place? Can you name any public buildings in India that are made of sandstone? So your answer to hobo, the ceremonies took place in the Union Buildings Amphitheater in Pretoria in South Africa. আৰু লগতে যিটো নেক্সট কুৱেশ্যনটো একেলগতে সোধা হৈছে তাৰ এই এনচাৰটো হ'ব ৰেড ফৰ্ট, কুতুব মিনাৰ, হাৱা মহল are some public buildings in India. Those are made of sandstone. Next question number 4 to was when was the inauguration ceremony take place? The inauguration ceremony took place on 10th May 1994. Why did the leaders gather in South Africa on 10th May 1994? The leaders gathered in South Africa on 10th May 1994 to attend the inauguration ceremony and also to show their respect to the newly born democratic and non-racial government. Question number 6 to ki hobo? Who surrounded the author before the inauguration ceremony? So your answer to hobo, many world leaders and dignitaries from various countries surrounded the author before the inauguration ceremony. Next question number 7 to kwa hoise, by whom was Mandela accompanied on the day of inauguration? So your answer to hobo, Mandela accompanied by his daughter Zenani on the day of inauguration. Question number 8, who was sworn in as first deputy president of South Africa? So your answer to hobo, Thabo Mbeki sworn in as first deputy president of South Africa. Next star picture question 2. Question number 9. At the beginning of his speech, Mandela mentions an extraordinary human disaster. What does he mean by this? What is glorious human achievement he speaks of at the end? তো ইয়াত দুটা কুৱেশ্যন লগতে সোধা হৈছে মেণ্ডেলাৰ মতে এক্সট্ৰাঅৰ্ডিনাৰী হিউমেন ডিজাষ্টাৰ মানে কি আৰু গ্লৰিয়াছ হিউমেন এচিভমেণ্ট মানে কি? তো তাৰ এনচাৰটো হৈছে when Mandela mentions an extraordinary human disaster, he refers to the practice of apartheid system where one is oppressed by another. After a long struggle, South Africa had gained freedom and practice of apartheid came to an end. No one would be oppressed by another later on. Mandela mentioned it as a glorious human achievement. Next question number 10. Why did Mandela thank the international leaders for? So your answer to hobo, Mandela thanked the international leaders for being there to take position with the people of South Africa and also for giving him the privilege to be host to the nations of the world. Question number 11 to কি কোৱা হৈছে এবাৰ চাই লৈছো, what ideas did Mandela set out for the future of the South Africa? নহলে কুৱেশ্যনটো এনেকৈও সুধিব পাৰে, what did Mandela want to do for his nation and people? So your answer to hobo, Mandela wanted to liberate all his people from the continuing bondage of poverty, depression, suffering, gender, and other discrimination. He also said that nobody would ever be oppressed by another. Question number 12. What roared in perfect formation over the Union buildings? তো ইয়াৰ এনসাৰটো হ'ব South African jets, helicopters, and troop carrier roared in perfect formation over the Union buildings. Next question. What were the colors emitted by a servon of Impala jet? তো ইয়াৰ এনসাৰটো হ'ব the colors emitted by a servon of Impala jets are black, red, green, blue, and gold. Question number 14. What did the smoke trail of Impala jet symbolize? The smoke trail of Impala jet symbolize the new South African flag. Next question number 15. What do the military generals do? How has their attitude changed and why? So your answer to hobo the military generals salute Mandela and pledge their loyalty to the newly formed government of South Africa during the apartheid era. The same generals would have arrested Mandela. After the removal of apartheid system, Mandela has become the president of the country. Therefore, the generals who would earlier have arrested Mandela now salute him. Next question number 16. Why were two national anthems sung? Your answer to over two national anthems were sung to show mutual acceptance between the black and white people in South African soil. From then, there would be no hatred between them. What happened in the first decade of 20th century? So your answer to hobo in the first decade of 20th century, the white people of South Africa had erected a system of racial domination against the dark-skinned people of the same land. They had created one of the harshest, most inhuman societies the world had ever known. Question number 18. What happened in the last decade of 20th century? Answer to hobo. In the last decade of 20th century, the system of apartheid had been overturned completely and replaced by the system that recognized the right and freedom of all people regardless of their color and race. Next 19 question to কৈছে what does courage mean to Mandela? Mandelaৰ মতে সাহস কি হয়? Important question এটো. So your answer to hobo according to Mandela, courage means not the absence of fear but triumph over. He says that the brave man is not he who doesn't feel afraid but he who conquers that fear. Question number 20. What twins obligation does Mandela mention? ইয়াত দুটা কৰ্তব্যৰ কথা নেলছন মেণ্ডেলাই মেনশ্যন কৰিছিলে সেইবোৰ কি হয়? Mandela mentions that every man has twins obligation. The first one is obligation to his parents, to his wife and children, and the second one is obligation to his people, his community, and his country. Next 21. Why it is impossible for a man like Mandela to fulfill both the obligation in South Africa? South Africa তাৰ মানে নেলছন মেণ্ডেলাৰ নিচিনা মানুহে কিয় তেওঁলোকৰ এই অব্লিগেশ্যনখিনি কৰ্তব্যখিনি পালন কৰিব নোৱাৰে? এনসাৰটো হ'ব it is impossible for a man like Mandela to fulfill both the obligation in South Africa as the black had been completely dominated by the whites. If a man belongs to Mandela's community, attempted to live as a human being was punished and isolated. Question number 22. How many years did Nelson Mandela spend in prison? To your answer to hobo Nelson Mandela spent 30 years in prison. কিমান বছৰ মানে তেখেত কাৰাবাস খাটিছিল তাৰ মানে বা জেলত আছিল তো আমি এইটো এনসাৰটো গম পালো 30 years. মই গোটেই কথাখিনি এক্সপ্লেইন কৰি দিব নোৱাৰিম এই ভিডিঅ'টোৰ জৰিয়তে কাৰণ বহুত সময়ৰ প্ৰয়োজন হৈ যাবগে যদি আপোনালোকক প্ৰয়োজন হয় তেতিয়াহ'লে মোক কমেন্ট বক্সত জনাই দিব মই আকৌ অসমীয়াত বুজাবলৈ চেষ্টা কৰিম Does Mandela think oppressor is free? Why not? No, Mandela does not think oppressor is free. Oppressor মানে যি অত্যাচাৰ চলায় তেওঁ মুক্ত নহয় বুলি মেণ্ডেলাই চিন্তা কৰিছিল বা ভাবিছিল। কিয় ভাবিছিল সেইটোৰ উত্তৰ দিয়াত মই দি দিছো। He says that one who takes away another man's freedom is a prisoner of hatred. He is locked behind the bars of prejudice and narrow-mindedness. 24 যিটো কুৱেশ্যন তাত কি সোধা হৈছে, what changed Mandela as a young man into a bold one? তো এনচাৰটো হ'ব Mandela's desire for the freedom to live his people's lives with dignity and self-respect changed Mandela as a young man into a bold one. 25. What is the view of Mandela about the wealth of the country? মানে দেশখনৰ প্ৰথম বা প্ৰধান সম্পদ হিচাপে মেণ্ডেলাৰ মতে কি আছিল? Mandela's views about the wealth of the country is that though the country is rich in minerals, the greatest wealth of his country is his people. Next, 26 to Swa. Why did such a large numbers of international leaders attend the inauguration? So answer to be large numbers of international leaders attended the inauguration to celebrate the end of apartheid, to pay their respect to the newly elected president, and also to show their acceptance as a part of the international community. Next question number 27. What does Mandela mean when he says he is simply the sum of all those African patriots who had gone before him? So answer to hobo. Before Mandela, thousands of people had struggled hard for freedom and sacrificed their life. Mandela says that the suffering and courage of those people can never be counted. So Mandela says that he is the sum of all those African patriots. He doesn't want to take that credit alone for their freedom. Last question, 28 number question is the last question. ইয়াত কি কোৱা হৈছে, how did Mandela's hunger for freedom change his life? তো ইয়াৰ এনচাৰটো হ'ব, Mandela's hunger for freedom changed his life completely. Mandela, who was a frightened young man, now became a bold person. He used to be a law-abiding attorney, but now he was declared a criminal. Mandela loved his family and liked to be at home, but now he became a man without a home. He loved life, but his desire for freedom changed him to a life like a monk. ইয়াৰ নেক্সট ভিডিঅ'ত মই আপোনালোকক শিকাবলৈ গৈ আছোঁ কিছুমান বিশেষ বিশেষ প্ৰশ্ন, যিবোৰ প্ৰশ্ন তোমালোকে পৰীক্ষাত এতিয়া নতুন ট্ৰেণ্ড হিচাপে দেখা পাইছা বা নতুন আমাৰ যিবোৰ ৰিকুৱাৰমেণ্ট হৈছে, আমি ছাত্ৰ ছাত্ৰীৰ পৰা সেইবোৰ জানিব বিচাৰিছোঁ যে ছাত্ৰ ছাত্ৰীসকলে সঁচাকৈ ইংলিছটো বুজি পাইছে নাই। গতিকে সেই বস্তুটো জানিবৰ কাৰণে নতুন নতুন ধৰণৰ প্ৰশ্নৰ গাঁথনি লৈ অহা হৈছে, পেটাৰ্ণ লৈ অহা হৈছে। সেই পেটাৰ্ণবোৰ আমি উত্তৰবোৰ কেনেকৈ দিম তাৰ কাৰণে এটা মই ভিডিঅ' এক্সট্ৰাকৈ বনাই দিম, আৰু আপোনালোকে হয়তো অকণমান হ'লেও তাৰ পৰা কিবা শিকিব পাৰিব। গতিকে আজিৰ ভিডিঅ'টো ইমানতে সামৰণি মাৰিছোঁ। যদি ভিডিঅ'টো ভাল পাইছে প্লিজ লাইক, শ্বেয়াৰ, কমেণ্ট এটা কৰি দিয়ক। ভিডিঅ'টো সম্পূৰ্ণ চাই অশেষ ধন্যবাদ। থেংক ইউ ফৰ ৱাচিং।